Ethan Cole lived alone on the edge of known space. His small cabin stood on the dusty plains of Erebus 9, a mining colony far from Earth. The sky was always gray, the air tasted like metal, and silence was his only friend. He worked as a mechanical engineer, repairing mining drones for the company that owned the colony. Every day felt the same. Wake up, fix machines, eat recycled food, and sleep. He missed Earth sometimes, but not the people. Life had been too noisy there. Out here, at least, no one bothered him. Still, loneliness was a quiet weight on his chest. He often talked to himself or the base computer, just to hear a voice. One evening, after fixing a broken oxygen pump, he decided he needed company. Something that wouldn't talk back too much. Something predictable. He opened the colony's interstellar supply catalog and searched through the domestic assistance section. There were cleaning bots, maintenance drones, and even talking companions for social needs. Ethan scrolled through hundreds of options until one caught his eye. Model HN9 Maid series, advanced household robot, polite, efficient, programmable personality, capable of cooking, cleaning, and light repairs. That'll do, Ethan muttered. The price was high, but he had saved enough credits. He confirmed the order, expecting the delivery within a few days. Then he went to bed, thinking about how quiet his life would finally become, with help that didn't complain or judge. 3 days later, the delivery ship came down through the gray clouds. The automated message pinged on his wrist display. Package 11, domestic assistant, signature required. He stepped outside as the delivery pod landed a few meters from his cabin. The ground shook slightly, dust rising around it. The pod was sleek and silver, marked with corporate logos. Ethan keyed in his authorization code and the pod hissed open. Inside wasn't what he expected. Instead of polished metal and servo motors, there was a woman. She was lying on her side, wrapped in a thin white containment sheet. Her skin shimmered faintly like moonlight on water. Her hair was silver, her eyes a soft glowing blue. She blinked a few times, then sat up quickly, looking around in confusion. Where am I?" she asked in a soft voice. Her accent was strange, musical yet mechanical, like she was translating each word as she spoke. Ethan froze. You're on Erebus 9, who are you?" "You're not a robot," she tilted her head. "I am Liara of the Valari Alliance. I was sent to serve as an envoy to the Terran known as Ethan Cole. That is you, correct?" He stared at her. "Envoy? Wait, I didn't order any envoy. I ordered a maid." "A robot maid." Liara frowned, obviously confused. "There must be a misunderstanding. My orders state, service pact initiated by Human Cole. I was to report and assist." Ethan ran a hand through his hair. "Great. The system messed up again." He looked back at the pod. There was no sign of a robot, no control chip, nothing but her and a few glowing data panels with alien symbols. He sighed. "Okay, maybe this is a prank, or a very expensive mistake." Liara stood up, still a bit unsteady. She was taller than he expected and dressed in some kind of thin silver fabric that looked alive, adjusting itself to her movement. "I assure you, Ethan Cole, this is no error. The Valari do not make such mistakes." "Well, somebody did," Ethan muttered. "Because I was supposed to get a robot that cleans floors, not an alien who speaks perfect English." She looked offended but remained calm. "Then perhaps your system mistranslated the request. In Valari culture, maid means bonded envoy, one who assists and learns from another. The translation may have confused your meaning." Ethan blinked. "Wait, you're telling me the word maid got turned into bonded envoy?" She nodded slowly. "It would seem so," he groaned. "This is why I hate automated translation systems." For the next hour, Ethan tried to contact the colony's central AI to fix the issue. But the system confirmed the shipment as correct and complete. The order code matched perfectly. He was stuck with Liara until someone back on Earth or the Valari side decided to fix the mistake. That could take weeks or months. Liara, meanwhile, walked around the cabin with quiet curiosity. She touched the walls, examined the kitchen tools, and looked at the window with fascination. "Your planet is quiet," she said softly. "It's not a planet," Ethan corrected. "It's a moon. And yeah, it's quiet because there's nothing here except rocks and people who don't like talking." She smiled faintly. "Then perhaps my presence will be useful." He rolled his eyes. "Unless you can fix mining drones or clean oil filters, not really." "I can learn," she replied simply. Something about her calm confidence made Ethan stop arguing. Maybe it was her voice, or maybe it was the fact that she didn't panic even after finding herself on an unknown world. Against his better judgment, he sighed and pointed toward the spare room. Fine, you can stay there. But this isn't permanent. As soon as I fix this mess, you're going home. Deal? Liara nodded. Understood, Ethan Cole. Over the next few days, the strange arrangement continued. Ethan worked on the mining machines during the day, while Liara explored the small colony outpost. She learned fast, almost too fast. Within a few hours, she had learned how to use human tools, cook basic meals, and even repair a broken ventilation fan. You pick things up quick, Ethan admitted one evening as they ate. Didn't think aliens would bother with human tech. It is simpler than Valari systems, she replied. But I find it elegant. You build with creativity, not perfection. He raised an eyebrow. That's one way to say we're messy. Messy, she repeated, smiling slightly. Yes, but alive. Ethan looked at her for a moment. There was something in her tone, a kind of admiration. It made him uncomfortable, but also curious. For someone claiming to be an envoy, she seemed too interested in human behavior. Later that night, while checking the delivery data again, Ethan noticed something strange. The tracking file for the pod had missing sections, entire coordinates deleted. It didn't come from a corporate ship at all. It came from deep space, far beyond the normal trade routes. Liara, he asked carefully, you said you're from the Valari Alliance, right? Where is that exactly? She hesitated. Far from here, beyond your mapped sectors. Then how did you end up in my delivery system? Someone had to send you directly. Liara looked away. Perhaps the pact was more complex than either of us thought. That answer didn't make sense. Ethan leaned back in his chair, thinking hard. The Valari Alliance wasn't even listed in any human contact database. Humanity hadn't officially met any new species for decades. So how could this woman appear, knowing his name and address? The next morning, he woke up early and found Liara standing outside, watching the sunrise over the Gray Plains. The light reflected off her metallic skin, making her look almost unreal. For a moment, he just watched quietly. You don't sleep? He asked. Not like humans, she said softly. We rest in thought instead of dreams. He joined her, the cold air biting at his skin. You're not just some envoy, are you? Liara didn't answer right away. No, she finally whispered. But I did not come here to harm you, Ethan, that is truth. Then why are you here? She looked at the sky, her eyes glowing faintly. Because I refused to obey, he frowned. Refused what? Before she could answer, his communicator beeped. The colony network had flagged an alert. An unknown signal had been detected entering Erebus 9's orbit. No ID, no registration. Ethan felt a chill. Looks like your people might be coming for you. Liara's calm expression broke for the first time. Then you are in danger too. The morning after the strange signal appeared in orbit, Ethan hardly slept. The colony network kept flashing warnings on his console. Unknown craft, no response to hails, moving slowly over the horizon. Most miners ignored it, thinking it was just another passing freighter. But Ethan knew better. The signal wasn't human. He looked across the small living room where Liara sat quietly, staring at the data feed. Her glowing eyes moved back and forth as she read the alien symbols on the screen faster than he could blink. You recognize it, don't you? Ethan asked. Liara didn't answer at first. She seemed to be listening to something far away. Then she said softly, It's a Valari code. Military class. They are looking for me. Ethan frowned. So you're saying your own people sent ships here? Yes, she replied. They were not supposed to find me this soon. Ethan crossed his arms. You said yesterday you refused to obey. What does that mean exactly? Liara turned toward him. Her expression was calm, but her voice carried a quiet sadness. The Valari Alliance is fighting a silent war against another empire called the Dracon Dominion. Both sides use spies and secret missions. I was sent to learn about humans, your technology, your behavior, your weaknesses. But when I studied the mission file, I saw that it was not just about study. The plan was to erase your colony afterwards so no one would know about our contact. Ethan's stomach turned cold. Erase? You mean destroy the whole colony? She nodded. Yes, I refused. I told them humanity did not deserve that. They called me corrupted, emotional. I fled before they could stop me. My pod must have been redirected through your trade system when I escaped. That is how I ended up in your delivery catalog. Ethan sat down slowly. So the robot I ordered became an intergalactic refugee. He gave a small, humorless laugh. Figures. Liara looked at him, guilt shining in her silver eyes. I am sorry, Ethan, I did not mean to bring danger to you. He rubbed his forehead. Well, it's too late for that now. We have alien warships above us. That day, the colony leaders called an emergency meeting. Ethan joined through his communicator while Liara stayed out of sight. The administrator, a strict woman named Hendricks, spoke over the holographic channel. We've got an unidentified craft in low orbit, Hendricks said. No transponder, no signal. We're assuming it's a smuggler. Nothing to panic about. Ethan wanted to speak but stopped himself. If he told them the truth, that alien warships were here, no one would believe him. And if they did, they might hand Liara over. When the meeting ended, he turned to her. We can't tell them. They'll think you're some kind of threat. I understand, she said. But if they come, they will not just take me. They will remove all witnesses. Ethan's mind raced. The colony had weak defenses, just a few automated turrets meant for meteor strikes. Against alien ships, they wouldn't last a minute. Still, humans were good at making things work that shouldn't. That was something aliens never understood. He stood up suddenly. Then we prepare. If they come down here, we'll give them a surprise. Liara tilted her head. You would fight them? Of course, Ethan said. This is my home, broken oxygen pumps and all. Nobody blasts it without asking me first. For the first time since she arrived, Liara smiled, a small, real smile. For the next 2 days, Ethan worked non-stop. He converted mining drones into defense bots, installed heat traps around the base, and rewired the energy grid. Liara helped with every step. Her advanced knowledge of energy systems made the process faster. Together, they built an invisible defense shield using spare ore coils and field generators. While they worked, they talked. Ethan told her stories about Earth, about rain, oceans, and music. Liara listened with fascination, asking simple but deep questions. Why do humans sing when they are sad? She asked one evening while adjusting a circuit board. Because it helps, Ethan said. When we can't fix something, we sing about it. Liara paused, thinking. Valari do not sing. We remove emotions when they cause confusion. Ethan looked at her. Maybe that's what makes us dangerous. We don't always need a reason to feel. She nodded slowly, almost as if understanding something new. That night, while Ethan slept, Liara stood outside under the pale stars. She closed her eyes and connected her neural link to the orbiting ship's signal. She could hear fragments of voices, Valari officers searching for her coordinates. Their words were cold and efficient. The defect unit escaped. Eliminate any human presence. No witnesses. Liara opened her eyes, fear rising in her chest. She couldn't let them destroy these people. Not after what she had seen, the kindness, the curiosity, the strange humor of a man who sang while fixing machines. The next morning, Ethan noticed Liara looked distant. What's wrong? They found us, she said quietly. They will land tonight. Ethan's hands clenched into fists. Then we're ready. By evening, the dark clouds over Erebus 9 began to glow. 3 bright objects descended, leaving trails of light in the sky. The colony siren screamed and people ran for cover. Ethan activated the defense grid. The ground trembled as the first alien craft touched down near the outer ridge. Sleek silver ships unfolded their landing legs, and tall armored figures stepped out. Valari soldiers, their eyes glowing like Liara's but colder, emptier. From the command ridge, Ethan watched them through binoculars. They look like you, he said. They are what I was supposed to become, Liara replied. Perfect, obedient, without feeling. She took a deep breath. I can talk to them. Maybe I can stop this. Talk, Ethan said. They just threatened to erase us. Still, she said, they were once my people. They may listen. Ethan wanted to argue, but he saw something in her face, a calm courage that reminded him of old heroes from Earth's history. He nodded slowly. Then I'll cover you, just in case they don't. Liara walked toward the landing site, her silver hair shining under the pale light. The soldiers raised their weapons but hesitated. One of them stepped forward and spoke in the Valari tongue, sharp and precise. Ethan, watching through the communicator, used his translator to follow the conversation. You are accused of treason, Liara of House Velan, the leader said. You revealed yourself to primitives and endangered the secrecy of the Alliance. Liara stood tall. These primitives are not what you think. They build with imagination, they fight with spirit. They deserve to exist. Your emotions have clouded your mind, the leader replied coldly. You will be taken for reprogramming. Ethan had heard enough. He pressed the activation switch. Hidden turrets rose from the ground and mining drones swarmed toward the landing zone, their cutting lasers glowing red. The first explosion shook the ground. Liara turned just as the battle began. The Volari fired energy pulses, but Ethan's shields absorbed the first hits. He shouted through the radio, Liara, get back. They're not listening. But instead of retreating, she raised her hands. Blue light spread from her palms, forming a shimmering wave that blocked the next volley. She was connecting directly to their ship through her neural link. The Volari soldiers froze, confused. Liara's voice echoed through their comms. Stop this. You are destroying what you do not understand. The leader tried to resist, but his armor flickered. Her control was spreading through their systems. Ethan watched in awe. She's hacking them, with her mind. Seconds later, the enemy ship powered down. Its engines went dark. The soldiers fell to their knees, their weapons offline. The battle was over. Liara dropped to the ground, exhausted. Ethan ran to her side. You did it, he said, catching her before she fell. I stopped them, she whispered weakly. But more will come. The others will not forgive this. Ethan looked at the silent ships in the distance and then at her. Then we make sure they never forget it either. That night, the colony was quiet again. The sky was clear for the first time in months. Liara rested while Ethan repaired the generators. He looked up at the stars, knowing this was only the beginning. Humanity was no longer invisible. Somewhere out there, alien empires had seen what one human and one rebel alien could do together, and they would remember. The next morning, the colony stirred cautiously. Rumors of the previous night's attack had already spread, but the official channels remained silent. Nobody knew exactly what happened except Ethan, Liara, and a handful of miners who had seen the alien ships land and falter. Ethan moved quickly, checking the automated defenses. The mining drones were damaged but still functional, and the turrets had held through the initial attack. He adjusted the power settings to improve reaction time and reinforced the perimeter with spare ore containers. Liara watched silently, exhausted from the previous night's exertion. Her glowing eyes dimmed slightly as she sat on a metal crate. The others will come, she said softly. They will not forgive what I did. They will send more ships. Ethan crouched beside her. Then we prepare. Humans are stubborn. We fight smarter than they expect. She looked at him curiously. You are willing to fight an entire alien fleet to protect a few humans? Ethan smirked. Not just humans. This is our home, and nobody threatens my home without learning the cost. Liara nodded slowly, understanding something she had not before, the human spirit. It was chaotic, unpredictable, and yet strangely effective. By midday, the sensors detected multiple signals approaching from deep space. Unlike the previous night, this fleet was larger and more coordinated. Ethan gathered a small group of miners, mechanics, and engineers and briefed them quickly. Listen, he said, we don't have warships, and we don't have weapons that can punch through alien armor. But we do have brains, drones, traps, and human stubbornness. If we work together, we can make this colony a fortress. The miners looked skeptical, but Ethan's confidence was contagious. Liara added her own insight. She instructed them on the alien ship's weaknesses, the way their shields worked and how their energy weapons could be overloaded. For the first time, these humans felt like they had a chance. Ethan smiled to himself. See? I told you. Never underestimate humans. The first of the alien ships landed on the far side of the colony. Sleek, silver, and menacing, the soldiers disembarked and began moving toward the center. Ethan activated the drones. They moved in coordinated patterns, surprising the Volari soldiers who were expecting easy targets. Lasers clashed, sparks flew, and alarms screamed. Liara moved to the front, her neural link extending toward the ships. She tried to communicate first, projecting a calming signal through the alien network. Some soldiers hesitated, confused by her interference. Ethan yelled over the comms, "Cover her! They can't take her if we distract them!" The miners fired improvised weapons, plasma cutters, repurposed mining lasers, and even heavy drills. Chaos erupted. The Volari soldiers had trained for precision and control, but humans fought unpredictably, adapting to every situation. Liara's control spread slowly through the alien network, disabling weapons and overriding flight systems on the smaller ships. Each time she extended her neural link, Ethan made sure she was protected, positioning drones between her and the enemy. "This is insane," Ethan shouted, ducking as a beam struck the ground near him. "But effective," Liara replied, her focus unwavering. "Humans are unpredictable. That is your strength." The battle raged for hours. The colony suffered some damage, but Ethan and the miners' ingenuity kept them alive. By mid-afternoon, the alien commander had noticed the interference. He activated a larger energy field to trap Liara and isolate the human defenders. "Ethan," Liara said urgently, "I cannot hold them much longer. If they capture me, they will destroy everything." Ethan thought quickly. "Then we make them fight the impossible." He ran to the central control hub and activated the colony's energy grid, channeling extra power into the drone network. The mining drones surged forward, acting as a shield while Liara amplified her neural signal. A wave of blue light emanated from her palms, spreading through the alien ship's circuits. Engines faltered, weapons shorted out, and the soldiers faltered. One by one, the ships powered down. The leader tried to resist, but Liara's link was stronger than ever. Ethan watched in awe. "She's doing it again," he said to himself. The alien fleet finally came to a complete halt. Smoke and sparks rose from their ships. The soldiers, confused and disoriented, fell to the ground, unable to continue. Liara collapsed, exhausted from the effort, but she smiled faintly. "We win. For now," she whispered. Ethan rushed to her side. "You did it. You saved everyone." Liara looked around at the surviving humans. "Not just me. You fought too. Your people are remarkable." Ethan chuckled. "We're messy, loud, and stubborn. That seems to work in our favor sometimes." After the battle, the colony began repairs. Damaged drones were fixed, shields were restored, and supplies were rationed carefully. Ethan and Liara walked through the quiet streets, observing the aftermath. The miners greeted her with cautious curiosity, no longer seeing her as just an alien, but as an ally. "You see?" Ethan said, pointing to the humans working together. "They're good people. Smart, strong, and surprisingly brave when they have to be." Liara nodded. "I understand now. This spirit, this courage, it is unique to humans. I have underestimated it." The sky was calm again, the alien ships long gone. Somewhere in the galaxy, the Valari Alliance would take note of humanity. Not as weak primitives, but as a force that could not be ignored. Weeks passed, and Liara decided to stay on Erebus 9 for a while. She helped Ethan improve the colony's defenses, taught humans new technologies, and shared stories of the Valari world. In return, she learned about music, laughter, and the strange unpredictability that made humans. One evening, Ethan and Liara stood on a cliff overlooking the gray plains. The sun was setting, casting pale light across the horizon. "You know," Ethan said, "I ordered a robot to clean my house, and instead I got an alien who saved my life." Liara laughed softly, the sound melodic and warm. "I did not expect this either. But perhaps the mistake was beneficial." Ethan shook his head. "Beneficial? That's one way to put it. I guess I didn't know what I needed until now." Liara looked at him with her glowing eyes. "Humans have a way of surprising even the most prepared." "Yeah," Ethan agreed. "And sometimes those surprises can change everything." They stood in silence, watching the stars emerge one by one. Somewhere far away, alien empires reconsidered their plans, realizing that humans were not so easy to control. They were unpredictable, resourceful, and willing to fight for their home. Liara turned to Ethan. "I will remain here, not as a servant or observer, but as an ambassador. Perhaps together, we can show the galaxy that humans are worth knowing, not destroying." Ethan smiled. "That sounds like a plan. But for now, let's just make sure my house stays clean." She laughed again, and for the first time it felt like home. The story closed with humanity no longer invisible to the galaxy. One small colony had survived against impossible odds, not because of advanced technology alone, but because of human courage, creativity, and determination. Liara had arrived expecting a servant. Instead, she found a companion, a teacher, and a partner in showing the universe what humans were capable of. And Ethan realized that sometimes, the best things in life come not from orders or plans, but from mistakes, accidents, and a little chaos. Final line. He ordered a robot to tidy his house. Instead, he found an alien who changed humanity's place in the universe.